All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. And yes, we're talking women's boxing today. This is something I'll be covering a lot more because there's a lot happening in women's boxing right now. It's still very much a growing sport. It's just now gaining real mainstream respect, and we're finally seeing a deep pool of talented, big-name fighters coming into the spotlight. Honestly, that's a beautiful thing to see, especially when men's boxing is dealing with all this other mess. You've got TKO trying to lock fighters into contracts people don't trust. You've got Turki Al-Sheikh making moves that some feel undercut American boxing. Meanwhile, on the women's side, we're getting strong American boxing with way less drama. Now, Claressa Shields, in my opinion, and I'll say that clearly, I think she's the best female fighter I've ever seen. That doesn't mean there aren't other great fighters out there. There absolutely are. And one of the greats from an earlier era was Laila Ali. So seeing these two go back and forth has honestly been kind of funny to watch. Up until recently, I felt like Laila Ali had been winning this exchange. She took the high road, she responded professionally to the things Claressa Shields said about her, and Claressa, to me, didn't really have a strong comeback to that, because at the end of the day, Laila wasn't wrong. Claressa was kind of shadow boxing, creating a rivalry that didn't really exist, and it made sense because Claressa is essentially her own promoter. She's doing everything she can to keep her name buzzing. But then came this weekend, Friday night at the Jake Paul event, and Claressa caught a stray. Laila Ali was backstage with Alicia Baumgardner talking about how Alicia looked. She said, "This is how a woman fighter is supposed to look, ripped, cut, taking care of your body." Then she went a step further and talked about how she approached fights back in her day. She said when she saw an opponent who looked out of shape, she already knew the fight was over. Let's be honest, that was a shot, and it wasn't subtle. Laila Ali has made comments like that about Claressa Shields before. She's questioned Claressa's build. She's implied Claressa doesn't look like she's in peak fighting shape. She's even hinted that Claressa could fight at a lower weight class if she were more disciplined. So yeah, let's call it what it is. Laila was taking a jab. People who know boxing caught it immediately. People who don't might have thought she was just praising Alicia Baumgardner. But no, that comment had layers, and I understand why Claressa took it personally. Claressa even said Laila is nice nasty, and honestly that fits. The comment was meant to sting. Now, to be fair, Laila Ali was always in phenomenal shape. Alicia Baumgardner looks incredible physically. Caroline Dubois looks strong and cut too. So Laila isn't wrong in valuing conditioning. But we also have to acknowledge that people are built differently. Some fighters carry weight differently. Claressa may be fighting at her natural weight. She may not want to drain herself just to look a certain way. That kind of extreme weight cutting can have long-term consequences, and maybe her mindset is simple. Nobody can beat her as she is. So the real question is this: was Laila criticizing performance, or was she taking another personal shot because of the ongoing tension? I can see why Laila would respond that way, because Claressa has said things you just don't say to people. Laila Ali has one of the most famous fathers in history, and that's not always easy. She's had to share him with the world. She probably didn't get as much time with him as she wanted growing up. So when Claressa throws comments in her face comparing fathers and legacies, that crosses a line. That part of the situation is just ugly. But zooming out, this whole conversation is still pushing women's boxing forward. Even on a card where the main event, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, didn't excite many people, the real substance was in the women's fights underneath. Caroline Dubois, Alicia Baumgardner. Those matchups matter, and eventually Dubois and Baumgardner may collide. Still, at the end of the day, I don't see anyone beating Claressa Shields right now. History has shown us that aesthetics don't always win fights. James Toney didn't look ripped, and he still dominated. Claressa isn't the first fighter who didn't fit a certain visual mold. All of this is why I want to keep talking about women's boxing. It's one of the few areas in the sport that's actually moving in the right direction. So let me know what you think in the comments. I've got respect for Claressa Shields, respect for Laila Ali, respect for Alicia Baumgardner, Caroline Dubois, and all the women putting in work. That's my take. Drop yours below. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.